Now, the time is 25 to 4. It's BBC Radio Merseyside. And for centuries, many different types of people have helped make this part of the world the unique region that it is. Footballers, politicians, musicians, comedians and social campaigners have all made a contribution. But I'm sure you've asked yourself many times over the years, what have the Vikings ever done for us? Well, now you can find out, as a website that was set up to help children learn about Wirral's Viking history has been redeveloped and turned into a web application. The man who can tell us all about it is Stephen Harding, a professor of applied biochemistry at the University of Nottingham. But he's a Wirral lad and a very proud supporter of Tranmere Rovers. Good afternoon to you, Stephen.
Hello, Andy.
So you still got your fascination with the Vikings, clearly.
Absolutely, yeah. A fascination which started a long time ago when it was in Wirral, of course, yeah. But you can't shake them off, I'm afraid.
Did you get taught about the Vikings' heritage in school when you were in Wirral?
No, not at all. And we knew very little about the Vikings then. We knew a bit about this rock in Thurston called Thor's Stone had something to do with the Vikings. And my granddad said something about Thingwall had something to do with the Vikings. But that was it. Nothing. And it wasn't until my final year as a university student, when I was doing physics, actually, at the same time as Tim Berners-Lee. You know who Tim Berners-Lee is?
He's the inventor of the World Wide Web.
That's right. He was on the same course as me all those years ago.
Well,
so
what an amazing group of people that course produced.
Anyway, I was doing physics, and I was in my library revising for final exams. And physics, this is before Brian Cox, so it was a little bit tricky to get through. And I was looking up on the shelves in the library for some sort of release, and there was a book, Scandinavian England, by F.T. Wainwright, the Viking ship on it. So I pulled it down from the shelf, and I opened it, and I was absolutely amazed that almost half the book was about the Vikings in Wirral and neighbouring Lancashire. And it told us all about this adventurer called Ingemund, who got expelled after a battle in Ireland and came over and got permission to settle in the Wirral and all the evidence behind it. Then he gave a list of all these place names with Viking names and going through this. Wow, this is great. And then Thingwall came up, which is what my granddad said. And then Tranmere came up. That was my football team. Tranmere had a Viking name, Tranmel, which means the sandbank with the tranny, which are crane birds or herons. So ever since, I've been sort of, captured by the Vikings. So that's how it all started for me. But of course, then I thought, well, that's strange. Why didn't I know about this? I would have loved to have found out this at school. And that's really later on, after I got involved with the Vikings in a big way, that we decided to do something for the schools with the local education authority and the Wirral Learning Grid.
So you set up your original site, I think, in 2006. How popular has it been?
Well, that's right. We did 2006. We did it with Mike McCartney, he still is actually Wirral's cultural ambassador, who introduced all the scenes and things. And it's been very, very popular with the youngsters, also oldsters as well. It's built around a cartoon character called Ingemund, who takes us through all the history and science of the Vikings, how they came here and what they did, and all this sort of stuff, and the evidence for the Vikings. Are they here today, for example, for the DNA? So this cartoon character takes us through all these scenes, and built around this, we've got all these educational games and things which the youngsters can play. So, that was the success, really. But over the years, of course, the computer software changed and things didn't work. And then we found out that it was still being used heavily by schools. We were approached by one of the teachers, I think at Heswell. So we decided to do something about it and get it revamped and made into a web app, so it'll work off desktops, laptops, tablets, and mobile phones. So a whole range of platforms, this thing will work now.
Is it just for children, or will adults benefit as well?
Adults will benefit as well, especially with a game we've included called Nefertafla. It's like a Viking board game between drafts and chess. But you can take on the computer, and the computer's quite difficult to beat. I don't think any youngsters have beaten the computer yet, but one or two adults have. So there's that, and I think it's a great resource for everybody, really.
Just in sort of a nutshell, then, just tell us about the impact of the Vikings in this part of the world.
Well, I think the Vikings have done is left behind a great deal of sort of heritage in terms of place names and archaeology and all this sort of stuff. But in terms of the real impact, the Vikings, of course, were great democrats. They had things, which means assembly. Thingwall means assembly fields. We've got a Thingwall, and there's also a Thingwall Hall near Ken Dodd's old Jambutty mines in off the Ash. So they were great sort of democrats with their thing assemblies, and I suppose their impact on language. The English language contains a huge number of Scandinavian words. For example, window. Window's my favourite word, which means vind aug, which means the eye of the wind.
Okay.
So their impact is much greater, much stronger than many people realise, both locally and nationally. Yep.
Now, you think as well, don't you, that the site of a big famous battle, the Battle of Brunanburg, is really in Bromborough?
That's right, or Bebington, really. When we did a lot of place name work some years ago, and we worked out that the battle probably took place somewhere in the Bebington area. Brunanburh means around Bromborough, and Bebington is there. And from the site, it just looks like where a battle might have been fought. And the local excellent archaeology group called Wirral Archaeology picked up on this years ago, and over the years have painstakingly gone round with metal detectors looking for evidence of things. And last 2 or 3 years they've really come up trumps. So they've come up with a lot of artifacts which may be connected with the Battle of Brunanburh. It's going to take a while to prove that, very scientific and metal analyses and things. But it's looking likely, although not yet proven.
One final thing before we ask you for the web address so where people could get the app is I seem to recall seeing you on the television last year. Fantastic program looking around the coastline of Merseyside, talking about the potential burial of a Viking ship under the railway pub in Mells.
That was on the Our Coast series, and that's we need another program for that, Andy, I think. But
okay.
Underneath this, the pub car park, it's amazing, really. It's almost like IKEA came to deliver your sort of boat, but you weren't in, so we left it under the patio. So it's incredible. So we're trying to now get the resources to go down, not excavate it immediately, but just to go down and sample some of the wood to get it tested, get it dated to see if it would be from that sort of era. And then if we ever get the money, and it would cost an awful lot of money to get the boat out, get it excavated, get it properly restored and consolidated and displayed. But that will be very, very exciting. And I suppose now we're coming out of the COVID with the vaccines and things, we can start thinking about all these nice things again. But everything has been put on hold because of the virus, of course, yeah.
So if people are interested and they would like to go and find the new web application, where can they find it?
Right, well, if they Google it, they probably won't get it yet because it's only just come up. So the best, going Vikings in Wirral, all lowercase, no dots, vikingsinwirral.co.uk.
Okay, thank you very much. Good to talk to you as ever.
So when the schools start using it more and more and more, then it'll get populated and then it'll come up on the Google searches. It probably comes up now, actually, but I haven't tested it. But that's the best way of getting it through typing in that.
Thank you very much indeed, Professor Stephen Harding.